Hello and welcome to Today We Smile Yoga. For today's yoga, I will be sharing my favorite Vinyasa Flow, which is focused on hips and hamstrings. So if you're anything like me with super tight hamstrings, this flow is for you. Again, just tune into your body, just do what's right for you and enjoy. Coming to a comfortable seated position. Bringing your hands to heart center and just taking a few breaths, arriving here on the mat, and then coming to lie down on your back, bringing your feet together, knees out wide. Just beginning with a gentle gravity-assisted hip opener here. So here, just focusing in on the movement of the breath in and out of your body. Noticing the points of contact your body have with the ground below you. And noticing if there's any tension stored in any parts of your body. Noticing them and honoring them through your practice today. Giving yourself that space to explore, breathe, and connect. Taking a few deep breaths, bringing one hand to your belly, one hand to your chest. Feeling the breath moving in and out. Seeing if you can slow that breath right down. And then gently bringing your knees together, stretching your toes out in front of you and your hands to the wall behind you. Enjoying that full body stretch, then hugging your knees in towards the center, maybe circling your knees, giving yourself a little back massage against the ground below you, and then gently rolling over to one side and coming up onto all fours. Stacking your hands beneath your shoulders, your knees below your hips, and spreading your fingers nice and wide. Going through a few rounds of cat-cow to warm up the spine. Just bring little bits of movement there. So as you inhale, you're dipping your belly down to the ground, lifting your head up towards the sky. As you exhale, the chin comes in towards the chest. You're pulling those shoulder blades apart from each other around your back. Flowing with your own breath here, just completing a few rounds. Just again, each time, noticing the spine, bringing little bits of movement, warming it up before we begin our flow. And then coming to a neutral spine and circling around your wrists, going as far forward, as far to the side, and as far back as is comfortable for you today. And then swapping the direction, taking it anti-clockwise. Again, just warming up the wrists, as yogis like to spend a lot of their time on their wrists. Finding your grounding. And then tucking your toes and pushing up into downward facing dog. As this is your first downward facing dog, your hamstrings might be a little tight, so just taking some time to warm them up, bending one knee at a time, straightening the other, gently bringing a little bit of length to the back of your legs. And take it as slowly as you need, just working with your breath here. And then finding stillness in your downward facing dog, taking a deep breath in and then sighing it all out. Looking towards the front of your mat, walking your feet forward, coming into that forward fold. Again here, if you need to bend your knees, that's perfectly fine. Grabbing hold of either elbow and just swaying from side to side, opening up the lower back, the hips. And then bringing your fingers to interlace behind your back, stretching those interlaced fingers towards the wall in front of you, keeping your palms of your hands together. Opening out the front of your chest and your shoulders. And releasing your hands back down towards the mat, allowing your head to hang heavy, nodding your head yes, nodding your head no. Tucking your chin in and then rolling up slowly, coming to a standing position at the top of your mat. Bringing your palms to face forward, rolling your shoulders back, finding your Tadasana, your mountain pose. And then as you inhale, sweeping the arms up towards the sky, then bringing the prayed hands through center down towards the mat. Bringing your hands towards the shin, flat back, and stepping back into plank. Holding plank here and then dropping your knees, chest and chin all the way down to the mat. Lifting your head and your hands for a micro back bend here, and planting your hands, tucking your toes and pushing back to that downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in, exhaling it out. Sending your right leg up into the sky. And then bending the knee, bringing the knee to hover into the chest. Flipping the foot and planting that foot down in between your hands. Staying here in a runner's lunge. Walking that foot further forward if you need to. And then planting your left knee down on the ground. Sweeping your arms up and sinking your hips forward. Making sure here that your knee doesn't overshoot your ankle. So if you need to walk that foot further forward, go for it. Just breathing here as that psoas muscle, the hip flexor, is just stretching. Then you gently folding over, sending your sit bone back towards your heel, lifting your right toes towards the ceiling for a hamstring stretch. Again, you can stay upright or fold over here to increase that stretch, but keep those toes pointing up. Planting your toes back, sweeping your arms up, coming back to that hip flexor. Taking a few breaths here. And then slowly bringing that foot back up into the sky, bringing a little bit of stretch into that hamstring. One last time, bringing that foot back, planting your hands either side of the foot, lifting your left knee off the ground. Inhale, sweeping your arms up for high lunge, finding your focal point, and then bringing your left arm forward, your right arm back for a twisted high lunge. Keep breathing here. And sweeping your right hand down, your left hand over, rotating your left foot down 90 degrees, opening up to warrior two. Finding your positioning here. Keeping your arms by your shoulders. Inhale, flipping your front palm, and then as you exhale, sending it over your head, stretching out that right side of your body. And then slowly releasing that right elbow down onto your right knee, left arm comes up and over. One long straight line from your left foot to your left hand. Sweeping your arms back, coming back to that warrior two, looking over your front fingertips, your right fingertips. Then cartwheeling your hands down to frame your front foot, coming onto your left toes, stepping back into plank. Holding plank and then dropping your knees, chest and chin all the way down towards the mat. Taking a little micro back bend here, lifting your head and your hands, and then planting your hands, tucking your toes, coming to that downward facing dog. Sending that left leg up into the air now. Bending the left knee, bringing the left knee in towards the chest, hovering that left knee. Planting that foot in between your hands, staying here for the runner's lunge. And then dropping your right knee down to the ground, walking that left foot further forward if you need to. As you inhale, sweeping your arms up, sinking those hips forward and down. Opening up the right hip flexors this time, the psoas muscle. Going to go through the same vinyasa, hip and hamstring on this side. So slowly exhale, folding forward, lifting your left toes up towards the ceiling. Again, just go as far into this as you want to today. And then slowly planting that foot back down, sweeping your arms up, Coming back to that hip flexor. Keep breathing nice and slowly, always returning back to the rhythm of the breath. Slowly folding forward once more, lifting those left toes up towards the ceiling. And then planting that left foot back down, coming onto your right toes. Back to that runner's lunge, sweeping that left foot back if you need to. And then as you inhale, maybe with a bit of a wobble, that's okay, sweeping your arms up towards the sky for a high lunge. This time, right hand comes forward, left hand goes back. If you're wobbly, it's okay, don't worry. Finding that twisted lunge. And then right hand is going to come up and over, left hand under, right foot plants down at 90 degrees, coming to warrior two on the other side. Make sure you've got that stacking of the knee over the ankle, and you're looking over your left fingertips this time. Inhale, flipping the left palm, sending it over your head, coming into your reverse warrior. Keeping that bend in the front knee, looking up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, sending that left elbow down to the left knee, right arm comes up and over, creating one long straight line from your right toes up to your right fingertips. Inhale, coming back to your warrior two, looking over your left fingertips. Then rotating your hands down to frame your front foot, coming onto your right toes, stepping back into plank. Holding plank, then dropping your knees, chest and chin all the way down. Lifting your head and your hands for a tiny back bend. Planting your hands, tucking your toes, downward facing dog. Coming back to your breath. Sending that right leg up into the air. Now stepping that right foot to the outside of your right hand. Lizard lunge. Staying there if that is where you are at. If you're a lot more open and you want to take it further, coming down onto your forearms. But again, you don't need to. You can just stay there. Breathe into that space. Then stepping that left foot forward to the outside of your left hand and finding your yogi squat, your malasana. Bringing your hands into a prayer position, using the elbows to send the knees out wider if you want to. Bringing your hands back down, heel-toeing your feet together, coming to a forward fold. Bringing your hands towards your shin, flat back. And then as you exhale, planting your hands, stepping back into plank. Inhale, holding plank. Exhale, dropping your knees, chest, chin, all the way down. Lifting your head and your hands, and then planting your hands, tucking your toes, downward facing dog. Sending that left leg up into the sky this time. And then stepping that left foot on the outside of your left hand. Taking lizard lunge on the other side. Again, stay here if that's where you're at. Otherwise, if you did it on the other side, repeating and coming down onto your forearms to increase that stretch. If you're on your forearms, coming back to your hands and then stepping your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Sitting down into your yogi squat once more. If you've got a baby crow practice, feel free to play with it here. Otherwise, just stay with your yogi squat. Bringing your hands to the floor, heel-toeing your feet together, coming to a forward fold. Inhale, hands come towards the shin, flat back. Then planting your hands, stepping back into plank. Pushing yourself to downward facing dog. Always coming back to that breath, sending your right leg up into the sky. Bending the knee, opening your hip out to the side. Staying there if that's where you're at, and that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, gently dropping that right foot down behind you. Left foot comes to the blade, and you're opening out your right arm up towards the sky for Wild Thing. Bringing your right hand back towards the mat, right foot goes up in towards the sky. And then that right foot comes underneath your left leg, coming to the outside edge of your right foot, turning to the inside edge of your left foot, opening your left arm into the sky for fallen star or supported side plank. Bringing your left hand back, sending your right leg back into the air, dropping your foot back down onto the ground, coming onto your knees and coming to child's pose. Just returning back to your breath again. Again, all of these variations, they're there for you to take or leave. They're there for you to just tune in to what works for you in your body today. If you want to keep working into the hips, feel free to send those knees a little wider and fold over those knees. Otherwise, sending your hands forward, coming back to your downward facing dog. Sending your left leg up into the air, opening your hips out towards the side. And then slowly dropping that left leg behind you, coming to the blade of your right foot, opening up your left hand to the air for wild thing. Pushing your hips up towards the sky. Planting your left hand back down, left leg goes up into the air. And then left foot comes underneath your right leg, placing it down, opening up into fallen star on this side. Bring your right hand back, sending your left foot up into the air, then down onto the ground, coming onto your knees and taking child's pose. Well done. Again, just coming back to the rhythm of the breath. Taking a wider child's pose if you're feeling a little bit more open in the hips and you want to work into that joint. Folding forward, coming back to your breath. The hard part's over. And then slowly stretching your fingers out in front of you, pushing up onto all fours, and then tucking your toes, downward facing dog. Walking your feet in between your hands, coming to a seated position. Bringing your feet together, knees out wide. So here, the closer you bring your feet towards you, the harder it is. So give yourself a bit of space, send your feet out. And then gently folding forward, leading with the chest here. So opening up your feet as if they're a book. If that's working for you, otherwise just take a nice gentle forward fold here. Maybe with each breath you find a little bit more space. And then bringing your knees together nice and slowly and stretching your feet out in front of you. Bringing your left leg so it's parallel with the front of the mat. Then stacking your right knee on top of your left ankle, your right ankle on top of your left knee. So for some people, this is an incredible glute stretch as it is. If you want to increase it, just gently walking those hands forward, folding forward to feel that stretch into your glutes. Again, this pose will look different to every single person. So just staying with wherever you're at in your practice. And then gently walking those fingertips back. And then stretching your feet out in front of you. This time we're going to swap it over. That right leg's going to come on the bottom. Again, parallel with the front of the mat. Then the left ankle stacks on the right knee. And then you've got both knees and ankles stacked. So it makes a little triangle if you're looking down at your lap. There's a little triangle shape in the middle. Staying there, closing your eyes and just breathing if that's where you're at. Otherwise, to increase that glute stretch, slowly walking those fingertips forward. Taking a few breaths here. If at any point it's uncomfortable, come out of it a little bit. And then slowly walking those fingertips back, sending your feet out in front of you, and coming to lie down on your back. Hugging your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a nice little squeeze, a nice little back massage on the ground. And then sending your knees over to the right, looking over to the left, gently closing your eyes down here if you want to. You can support your knees with your right hand. It's important here that both shoulders are in contact with the ground. So it's just a nice final twist to end your practice. Bringing your knees back into center, giving yourself another little hug. And then taking the knees over to the left, bringing your head to face the right. Keeping both shoulders in contact with the ground once again. Closing your eyes down and just breathing into that spinal twist. Bringing your knees back into center, wrapping your arms around your knees, giving yourself that final squeeze, taking any final movements you want to do before we settle down for the Savasana, the meditation. So any little movements, anything you think your body needs, before gently stretching your feet out in front of you, bringing your palms to face up next to your body. Just allowing your body to relax down into the ground below you. Noticing the points of contact your body has with the ground below. And allowing your body to just melt a little further into the ground. Maybe noticing if there's still any bits of tension or discomfort. But maybe noticing if anything has shifted during your practice. Bringing your attention to your breath. And just following that breath in and out. Feel free to stay here as long as it serves you. Feel free to take as much time to enjoy that before gently taking a full body stretch and then hugging your knees in once more. Rolling over to the right side, taking a moment here before pushing yourself up in towards a seated position. Keeping your eyes closed, bringing your paired hands in towards your heart center and bowing your forehead down towards your hands, thanking your body for everything it does for you, each and every day. Bringing your paired hands towards your forehead and bowing down to the ground, locking in that energy you've created today. Maybe sending it to a part of your body or sending it to someone in your life that is in need of that energy. Coming up, bringing your hands back in towards your heart center and then gently blinking your eyes open. Namaste. Thank you so much for following my flow. If you enjoyed it, please drop me a little message. I'd love to hear from you. And again, let me know, comment, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.